Welcome to another Thunder Thursday on News OK Live. I'm sports editor Mike Sherman, here with our Thunder coverage team. From our newsroom just below us, Jenny Carlson, columnist. From the Thunder training facility just across the street here in Oklahoma City, beat writer Darnell Mayberry. And from his home in Edmond, our other beat writer, John Rohde. Guys, let's get started. Join us on our News OK Live page. It's newsok.com/live. And we're talking about the suddenly red-hot Oklahoma City Thunder, winners of 9 straight, following last night's 92-88 victory over the New Orleans Hornets. And Jenny, today in the Oklahoman, you wrote about our first topic. Guys, I'm going to give you a sentence. I want you to finish it. Fill in the blank time. Jenny, Reggie Jackson's performance Wednesday against the Hornets proved blank.
Proved he should get more playing time. I don't know if he will. Scott Brooks is pretty dedicated to his 9-man rotation, so I'm not sure he's going to do anything to change that. But I think we saw last night that Reggie Jackson, if given a chance, can impact games in a positive way. He did some things on both sides of the court that were really positive, and frankly changed the outcome of that game. That team was pretty dead when he checked in, and he changed the momentum of that game. And ultimately, the Thunder was able to put something together and beat the Hornets. Darnell, as you and John have been referring to it as riding the Tulsa Turnpike, Reggie Jackson's been riding it, went up there and had a big game, his last performance. But then last night against the Hornets, his performance proved blank.
I think it proved that he can play. There was always sort of question marks about Reggie Jackson and how good he is and what he can bring to this team. I think, you know, he got in when the Thunder was down 10 points. He immediately helped turn the tide, as Jenny said, and he hit a big shot. He had a little spinning layup in the lane, and he played some solid defense. So I think he kind of showed he's kind of scratched the surface of showing what he can do and bring to this team.
John, how you finishing that sentence?
Well, I think it proved that there's room for him on this roster. Now, where the minutes come from, I'm not sure, but he proved last night he's athletic enough, talented enough. It's just a tough spot. And it also proved that Scott Brooks was desperate. I mean, Daquan Cook is gone. Last night would have had Daquan's name written all over it, but he's gone, and he went with Reggie.
Darnell, Reggie Jackson was a guy that you were told in the preseason there was an open competition for backup point guard minutes. That hadn't been the case. Is this his chance to get back in the running for that job, which presumably could be vacated next season?
I don't see it, as much as I think everybody can see now that he deserves minutes and probably deserves to be playing over Eric Manor. I just don't see it. Scott Brooks is a coach who loves consistency. He loves to stick with what's working. And frankly, the Thunder is 18-4 right now with Eric Manor at the backup point guard spot. So unless it's other situations where Reggie Jackson can come in and play in a 2-point guard lineup, I just don't see him overtaking Eric Manor as the full-time backup.
John, we'll start with you on the next topic, and we'll stay sort of in that neighborhood. Scott Brooks' approach to developing the Thunder's young players is blank. What do you say, John?
Predictable, because he's going with a 9-man rotation, and he's picked the right 9. Perry Jones, I mean, there's hope there, but there's no opportunity there. So I think it's, I think I could coach this team. Darnell could coach. Jenny, we could all coach this team because I think it's pretty obvious who the top 9 are.
Jenny, what do you got?
Well, I agree with John. I think it is predictable, and I think it can be frustrating too, because you see a guy like a Reggie Jackson come in and play really well, and you think, hey, this guy could make an impact, maybe should be given a chance to make an impact. Hey, we were talking to Kevin Durant after the game, and he not only mentioned it once, but then came back and mentioned it again, that he thought Reggie Jackson should have more of a chance to get in there and play. But, you know, I'm with these guys. I'm not sure where the minutes come from, but it can be frustrating when you see glimpses of these guys, whether in Thunder uniforms or 66ers uniforms. I mean, Reggie Jackson scored 20 in his last D-League game, so we know the guy can play. It can be frustrating to know that that kind of talent might be lingering on the bench and not even getting a chance to play.
Darnell, how are you finishing that sentence?
I'm going to say Scott Brooks' approach to developing the Thunder's young players is what I'm writing about for tomorrow. How about that plug? So I talked to Scott Brooks about it today, and he was extremely open with me about it. He was extremely candid, and he kind of divulged a little bit of his philosophy about what he tries to do with developing these young players. I mean, he really hasn't played a young player since Russell Westbrook got the starting job over Earl Watson when he
Folks, we lost everybody. We've had some technical difficulties. We're getting ready. We're talking in the middle of talking about Scott Brooks and how he's developing young Thunder players last night against the